in London, and we started some songs for the Ball Breaker album. You know, we just had a nice relaxing time, just singing the songs, see what was going on. And and then from there we went to New York to do we spent a couple of months in New York at the studio, and we weren't that happy with the sound there, so then we went to LA, and then we finished in June last year, and then we did press, then we did rehearsals, and then we started in January. So it's usually a lot of the work in bands is done not on stage or in the studio. It's the preparation work, you know.
Do you like all that preparation?
It can be boring, but it's necessary, I think, if you want to bring something good out. You know, I think there's too many bands get 3 or 4 good songs and then fill the rest of the album with just about anything that, you know, it's okay. But the boys, as I said, Angus and Martin, you know, it's wonderful to work with them because taught me a lot about being patient, and good things will come if you stick with something, you know. So and that's the way they work, and we have a good time, you know. You got to remember AC/DC, which, you know, we can't say too much in those big press conferences, you know. It's one of the funniest bands to be, and that's why we've stuck together for so long. The sense of humor is so dry. I mean, it really is dry. I mean, it's just funny. So there's never any tenseness, there's never any arguments, and I think that's the big thing. And I think the basic thing is we're good friends. And I think that's why our band has lasted so long. Nothing's ever taken seriously. Nobody's ever tried to do a solo album. You know, nobody's sort of gone and done a movie, or, you know, and we've been asked all the time, you know, to come and do this and come and do that. But it's AC/DC first, and that's the end of it, you know. And I think that's helped cement a relationship between the boys, you know. It's hard work, you know. It's not all easy, but it's fun to be in a rock and roll band. It really is.
Do you have any pressure that for you to change the image of the music?
Well, once, I remember once, you know, it was about in the mid-'80s, and a couple of record guys were going, well, you know, you've got all these young guys now with the fur, you know, the jeans and the silk and the satin, and we were looking at this guy going, and he's going, well, you know, we think you should make a change. I said, well, first, we're not pretty enough. I said, and we're not going to stand up there with, you know, like big tarts. And of course, those guys are all gone. You know, the lipstick and the, you know, all that shit. It's a shame because, but I was just saying to the lady before, a lot of the music from other bands is more like a fashion statement. And, you know, like grunge and alternative. It really is. It's just rock and roll played differently with guys jumping up and down with long baggy shorts on and big shirts that don't fit. But it's a fashion statement, so kids dress like that. But like most things in fashion, it goes out of fashion, you know, and then you're left stranded because people remember you that way. And if you try to change, then you become dishonest, and you proved that you weren't playing what you like. You just played it because it was financially good to do that. Whew.
There was strong rumors about Angus leaving behind his scholar device.
Can I do that? He's like, you know, Clark Kent and Superman. You know, Angus, you've seen Angus, he's got his jeans on and he couldn't go on stage. He has to, you know, I've seen him, he's just had a flu or he's really ill and, you know, we've done about 5 shows and night after night he's just dying. And you're looking at that poor guy, he's going to kill himself if he gets on that stage. I mean, it's just so much for any human to take. And he sticks a school suit on and he's like turned into Super Angus. You know, it's really funny. It's funny, it's weird, but it's the truth. Yeah, it's like me, you know, but, you know, like all the boys in our changing room, the SADC's wardrobe, you know, you hear about wardrobe, it's ridiculous. I think it's 2 drawers. One's got T-shirts in, one's got socks in. You know, it's like, I'm ready, you know, and that's it, you know, and, you know, so it's uncomplicated. And it's lots of fun, but we'll, you know, Angus will never take the show. It's part of the show. I mean, why change if it's not broken? Don't fix it. You know.
Videos for Ball Break are very, very funny. Did you have fun making them?
I always have fun, mate. I see, I have a big problem. You walk into a restaurant and you see a restaurant, you sit down. I walk into a restaurant and I see funny things everywhere and I cannot help it. It drives me nuts because I start laughing. I'll see something, you know, something over there and I say, and the boys are like, well, you know, we just see the world in a different way. I don't know if it's a curse or a good thing, but every time, like, I've noticed a couple of things at the press conference and I started laughing, you know, and I was trying to bite my lip. Because I can see an immediate funny situation arising out of it, but you cannot see it too much. And I think the whole band's like that, you know, they're just so funny, so funny.